This is not good news. And it could slow down those really great vaccination numbers that I just told you about. US regulators are now calling for a complete and total pause on using the Johnson and Johnson coronavirus vaccine because of 6 blood clot cases that have happened among 6 million people who have received the Johnson and Johnson vaccine. So the first piece is that the FDA and the CDC have already decided they will no longer use the vaccine at federal vaccination sites. They are urging states to also pause. And as far as I know, basically every state is doing it. I know people who were scheduled to get their J&J shot today, their appointment has been canceled. What we know so far, per the New York Times, is that 6 recipients in the US developed a really rare disorder that involves blood clots within about 2 weeks of vaccination. It's 6 people, all women between the ages of 18 and 48. One woman died. A second woman in Nebraska has been hospitalized and is in critical condition. It's actually not 6, it's nearly 7 million people in the US have received the J&J shot so far. 9 million more doses have been shipped to states, which presumably will just be held for the time being. Dr. Peter Marks, who directs the FDA's Center for Biologics Evaluation and Research, put out a statement along with the principal deputy director of the CDC, Anne Shushat, and they said, quote, "We are recommending a pause in the use of the vaccine out of an abundance of caution." So let's talk the numbers through. 6 incidents out of about 7 million vaccinations. The first question is, was this caused by the vaccine, or did these 6 individuals have some underlying disorder or abnormality that was exacerbated by the vaccine? Other questions that are being looked at include, given that we're talking about all 6 of the individuals were women age 18 to 48, could this be connected to some kind of medication? For example, and this is just an example, there's no evidence of this, but this is the type of question that's being asked. If all 6 of these women were on oral contraceptives, the birth control pill, that would be something to look at. We just don't know yet. And while it's being investigated, it's going to be a setback in the vaccination program. Everybody is being clear right now that there is not a causal relationship here, but it has to be investigated. In the US, somewhere between 300,000 and 600,000 people per year develop blood clots generally, but not this particular kind of blood clot. This is a cerebral venous sinus thrombosis. It's very, very rare, and we have to do it safely. That has to be priority number 1. We also have to make sure that this is reported on in a responsible way. You know, what's going to be on Fox News tonight? The anti-vaxxers are already saying, see, we were right about all of it. Well, no, the same people said mRNA vaccines are really, really dangerous. And it's been the 2 adenovirus vaccines that we are seeing this blood clot issue with. The J&J vaccine here in the US, AstraZeneca in Europe and in other places. Remember that out of 34 million people who received the AstraZeneca vaccine in Britain, as well as the EU and 3 other countries, there were 222 of these blood clot incidents linked with a low platelet level. So a slightly different situation. It's been the adenovirus vaccines where we've seen this, not the mRNA. And so when the same people that were talking about mRNA come forward and say all of these vaccines are unsafe, let's not allow them to gish gallop us. Let's talk now about the effect on just the vaccination program in the United States. With the J&J doses, we were expecting to have enough for all 260 million adults in the U.S. by the end of next month, by the end of May. Didn't mean everybody would have received their shots by then, but there would be enough supply. Without the Johnson & Johnson doses, most adults, there would be enough supply for 230 million adults. That's not everybody. That's not all 260 million. But so many people are refusing to get the vaccine that in practice, even without the J&J doses, there very well could still be enough doses for every adult who wants the vaccine to get one. And that supply would be available by the end of May. So we could be, depending on how many people want the vaccine, this could be a delay of a few weeks in getting to where we hope to get. It could be a delay of a couple of months. There are other countries that are so dependent on future doses of the J&J vaccine, that if this doesn't get resolved in a way that it's deemed to be safe and the J&J vaccination continues, it could really be a disaster for the plans of some other countries. The vaccine might also come back online relatively quickly, but with some demographic restrictions. If we can determine that there's something about why it's only affected 6 women, do you say, well, we're bringing it back online, but only men should get the J&J vaccine? This is idle speculation, but these are the things medical regulators are going to be looking at. So not the news that we wanted. We continue vaccinating with the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccines. Deaths are continuing down. Cases are level. And if we can race the variants successfully, cases should be significantly lower in about a month. And we will continue following what happens with the J&J vaccine, as well as others, distribution, cases, variants, and all of that. Let me know your thoughts if you've received the J&J vaccine already, but you're within the 2-week period during which these reactions are happening. Are you worried? Or are the numbers so low that it doesn't concern you? Let me know. I'm on Twitter at @DPakman. Many so-called healthy snacks don't taste that great. They don't fill you up. They don't satisfy a craving, which is why you should check out our sponsor, Monk Pack, and their keto nut and seed bars. Delicious sweet snacks with only 1 gram of sugar or less, 2 to 3 grams of net carbs, and just 150 calories. Perfect for the keto or low carb diet, or anybody who just generally tries to eat a low sugar diet like me. I love the Monk Pack keto nut and seed bars. Just a great balance of sweet and salty, soft and chewy, but with a nice crunch from the nuts and seeds. You can get great flavors like caramel, not caramel. Come on, guys. Caramel sea salt dark chocolate, peanut butter dark chocolate. That's my personal favorite. They'll give you all of your money back if you don't love it. Go to monkpack.com. The link is down below, and you'll get 20% off any of their products when you use the coupon code Pakman.